A new pneumonia epidemic has recently emerged in China, raising fears of another pandemic on the horizon. The outbreak, which began in late November 2023, has infected more than 300 people and killed at least 12 in the city of Nanjing, the capital of Jiangsu province. Today we will explore the facts and uncertainties surrounding this new health crisis. The new pneumonia has been reported to cause fever, cough, shortness of breath, and chest pain. Some patients also develop diarrhea, headache, and loss of taste or smell. The symptoms are similar to those of COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus that emerged in China in late 2019 and sparked a global pandemic. However, the new pneumonia seems to be more severe and more contagious than COVID-19, according to some preliminary observations. According to the Nanjing Municipal Health Commission, the average incubation period of new pneumonia is about 5 days, ranging from 1 to 14 days. The average hospitalization time is about 10 days, and the average time from onset to death is about 15 days. The case fatality rate, or the proportion of deaths among confirmed cases, is estimated to be around 4%, which is higher than the 2.2% reported for COVID-19 by the World Health Organization (WHO). The new pneumonia also appears to have a higher transmission rate than COVID-19. The basic reproduction number, or the average number of people that one infected person can infect, is estimated to be between 2.5 and 3.5, compared to 1.5 and 2.5 for COVID-19. This means that the new pneumonia can spread faster and more widely than COVID-19, potentially leading to exponential growth of cases and overwhelming the health system. The origin and the nature of the new pneumonia are still under investigation, but some clues have emerged from the epidemiological and genetic analyses of the cases. The first case of the new pneumonia was detected on November 27, 2023, in a 45-year-old man who worked as a butcher at a wet market in Nanjing. He had no history of travel or contact with animals, except for the livestock he slaughtered at his workplace. He developed symptoms on November 29 and was hospitalized on December 1. He died on December 12. The wet market where he worked was shut down and disinfected on December 2. Samples from the market were collected and tested for various pathogens, including coronaviruses, influenza viruses, and other respiratory viruses. The results showed that some samples from the market, especially from the poultry section, were positive for a new coronavirus that had not been seen before. The new coronavirus was named Nanjing coronavirus (NJC) by the Chinese authorities. The NJC was also detected in some of the patients who had visited the market or had close contact with the first case. However, not all of the patients had a clear link to the market or NJC. Some of them had no exposure to animals or animal products, and some of them tested negative for NJC, but positive for another virus called Nanjing orthopneumovirus (NOP), which was also new and unknown. The NOP was found to be more closely related to viruses that infect birds than to viruses that infect mammals, suggesting that it may have originated from avian hosts. The coexistence of two novel viruses, NJC and NOP, in the same outbreak raised the possibility of a dual infection or a co-infection, where a person is infected with both viruses at the same time or in succession. This could explain the diversity and the severity of the symptoms, as well as the difficulty in diagnosing and treating the patients. It could also increase the risk of genetic recombination, where the two viruses exchange genetic material and create new variants that may be more virulent or more transmissible. The diagnosis and the treatment of the new pneumonia are challenging due to the lack of specific and reliable tests and drugs for the new viruses. Current diagnostic methods rely on polymerase chain reaction (PCR) tests, which amplify and detect the genetic material of the viruses in patient samples. However, the PCR tests have some limitations, such as false negatives, false positives, cross-reactions, and low sensitivity. Moreover, the PCR tests are not widely available or accessible, especially in remote or rural areas, where the outbreak may have spread unnoticed. The current treatment options are mainly supportive, such as oxygen therapy, fluids, antibiotics, and antivirals. However, the effectiveness of these treatments is uncertain, as there is no evidence that they can cure or prevent new pneumonia. Some of the patients have received experimental treatments, such as monoclonal antibodies, which are laboratory-made proteins that can bind to and neutralize the viruses, or convalescent plasma, which is the liquid part of the blood from recovered patients that contains antibodies against the viruses. However, these treatments are still under evaluation and have not been approved for widespread use. The best way to prevent and control The new pneumonia is to prevent and control the transmission of the new viruses. This requires the implementation of public health measures, such as wearing masks, washing hands, social distancing, contact tracing, isolation, quarantine, and vaccination. However, these measures are not easy to enforce or comply with, especially in the context of pandemic fatigue, social unrest, economic hardship, and political tension. Moreover, these measures may not be sufficient or effective, as the new viruses may have evolved to evade or overcome the existing barriers and defenses. The global response to the new pneumonia has been coordinated by the WHO, which declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on December 15, 2023. The WHO has sent a team of experts to China to assist with the investigation and the containment of the outbreak.
Knowing the source of the virus is very, very important. It's science, it's public health. We can fight the virus better when we know everything about the virus, including how it started. We will be sending a team next week to China to prepare for that.
WHO has also issued guidance and recommendations for the prevention and management of the new pneumonia, as well as for the development and distribution of diagnostic tests, treatments, and vaccines for the new viruses. The scientific community has also mobilized to study and understand the new pneumonia and the new viruses. The researchers have sequenced and shared the genomes of the new viruses, which have revealed their origin, evolution, and characteristics. The researchers have also conducted experiments and trials to test the efficacy and safety of various interventions, such as drugs, vaccines, and therapeutics. The researchers have also collaborated and communicated with each other and with the public through platforms, journals, and media to share their findings and insights. The emergence of the new pneumonia has created many challenges and uncertainties for the health, economy, and society of China and the world. The origin and evolution of the new viruses are still unclear. The animal reservoirs, intermediate hosts, and spillover events have not been identified or confirmed. The new viruses may have originated from natural or artificial sources, such as wildlife, livestock, laboratories, or bioweapons. The new viruses may have evolved or mutated to adapt to human hosts, to increase their virulence or transmissibility, or to evade the immune system or the interventions. The diagnosis and treatment of the new pneumonia are challenging. The available tests and drugs are not specific or effective for the new viruses. The new viruses may have developed resistance or tolerance to the existing drugs or vaccines, or may have interacted or interfered with other pathogens or medications. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.